Jewelry brand owners, if you don't know where to sell and promote your jewelry items, then this video is for you. I generated over 1,000 ads for mid-sized jewelry brands over the past 3 years, and I have consistently seen that this one platform outperforms any other platform to advertise, to promote, and sell your jewelry items. So normally, a lot of jewelry brand owners start off by advertising on Google. The number one benefit of Google was to rank number first on its search bar. Number two benefit is that the people that were clicking on your website and becoming leads for your jewelry brand were actually very high intent leads, strangers on the internet that are very likely to become customers. But there are still several problems with Google. So if we go wedding rings in Stockholm, if our prospects are in Stockholm and let's say a person wants to propose, that they want to buy a wedding ring, right? So let's say they Google this, and then these are the advertisers that show up first on the sponsored results. And by the way, they show the sponsored results is really, really big. Like these are ads. But anyway, people who actually want to buy wedding rings won't really care. That's fine, right? So sponsor results. And then here we have one jewelry brand, Van Bruun. Then we have another jewelry brand, the second jewelry brand, 77diamonds.com. Then we have Lika Jeweler, fourth brand. And then Haley's Jewelry's house is the fourth brand. Now, by itself, there's nothing wrong with this, right? So everything good. This is how ads are supposed to work. However, here is where the problems start to unveil for jewelry brands using Google Ads. If I just go to a second tab and I just go wedding ring Stockholm. So here I put wedding rings in Stockholm, right? But let's say your prospect just types out wedding ring Stockholm, right? You have Van Bruun here. Then you have 77diamonds.com after Van Bruun's. And then you have Haley's Jewelry House. But if you look closely, Google left one brand out, right? So this brand, even though it's basically the same thing as here, it doesn't show. Maybe if you scroll, you'll find others like these ones. And by the way, it's pretty terrible to pay for Google Ads and have your ads be shown after 10 scrolls, right? So if I go up is 1 scroll, 2 scrolls, 3 scrolls, 4 scrolls, 5 scrolls, all right, 6 scrolls. After 6 scrolls, this is where your jewelry brand ends up, which by the way, you're not getting clicks if it's like this. These ones are getting the clicks, right? So we got one brand left out and the rest of the brands are sitting here in the 6th position. So it's pretty bad, right? We can go in further and go Stockholm wedding ring. We are hitting those keywords. We are hitting the location. We are hitting the desired product. So for example, Van Bruun always first, 77 Diamonds always second. And then we have a completely new brand here, right? And then we have Haley's Jewelry House, which always sits in the 4th, 5th place. So we have a completely new jewelry brand, right? The problem with this is that this jewelry brand did not appear anywhere here, did not appear anywhere here, even though the searches are exactly the same, just with some typos, right? So we have this problem with Google that even though you could be competing for the same keywords, you will not be ranked. Your brand won't be shown and you're running Google Ads. Now, it's very, very complicated and very risky for jewelry brands to depend all of their business on a platform that even though you as a jewelry brand owner are advertising on this platform, the platform is just not showing it. It's very difficult. It's very complicated to grow a business because leads have to enter reliably. On the other hand, let's look at Facebook. So when you advertise on Facebook, the beautiful thing is that you have several places in which to put your advertising. So place number 1, your stories. So Facebook can place an ad here on the stories tab. So that is position number one, where your ad can be. Position number two is here on the sponsor tab. So you have a side tab that all of your prospects in your local area, or if you're selling e-commerce, any of your prospects will be able to just see an ad of yours, right? And then here's the interesting part about how Facebook's algorithm works. So with Google, the nice thing about Google was to be number one. If you advertise on Google for those keywords and you actually competed, you rank number one, right? On Facebook, the beautiful thing is that not only you have one place to advertise, second place to advertise, you still have places to advertise here on the most important part on your feed. So for example, this place is the center part where all the attention is going to go, right? Now, if you just scroll past the first organic post, you're going to get an ad, right? This is a paid advertisement from this coach, right? And this could be you advertising your jewelry items to your prospects in your local area for way cheaper money. And this is a bigger advertisement. So you have a creative, right? You have a hook or a written hook. You have the headline, you have a sub headline, and then you have here a call to action, right? And you can even have a above the fold, let's call it, headline too, right? So you have many, many different ways to be able to advertise on Facebook. And Facebook gives you this enormous amount of different formats in which you can actually show the exact same item. So you can have, for example, carousels, image, banners, videos, reels, right? So the videos are they're kind of longer, and the reels are just kind of more vertical. The videos are more horizontal, right? So you have an enormous amount of ways on Facebook that you could just grab those prospects from the internet and have them become customers and actually sell jewelry. So in respects of where to promote your jewelry brand, I have seen over the past 3 years that Facebook is king, right? Facebook is just king, right? Facebook and Google are still king. However, for jewelry brands, I've just seen that the jewelry brands that I have advertised for, those mid-market jewelry brands, they just consistently get more sales from Facebook than from Google. Because if you're a local jewelry brand, you're probably getting around 3 leads a day, right? With Facebook, you can get 100 leads a day pretty easily, like very, very easily, all right? So that's why Facebook is kind of king, and Google is really not optimal for jewelry brands. If that wasn't enough to convince you to switch from Google to Facebook, or even if you're not even advertising on Google or Facebook, just go all in on Facebook. The biggest brands on the planet, the biggest jewelry brands on the planet, are advertising aggressively on Facebook. So let me just show you some of their advertisers. So for example, let's say Cartier, which is the biggest jewelry brand on the planet, is the most established. So we have carousel ads, right? So here is a carousel ad where you could just click on it. Here's an image ad, right? And then we got reel ads, right? And by the way, they all test these ads on their organic. So for example, you as a jewelry brand could do exactly the same. This is the system I teach on Goldsmith Secrets training. You can click the link in the description of this video to check it out. It's the exact same system. You generate an enormous amount of photos, reels, carousels, just like Cartier. You publish them on your Instagram. There are a couple of key metrics that those posts have to hit so that we can grab those, run them as Facebook ads, and then duplicate those Facebook ads. Ads Max. They just run an enormous amount of carousel ads. They can even, I've seen them do. They run, for example, image ads, like, I don't know, let's say this is an image ad, right? They run one of these, and then they put these images as thumbnails for new reels that they are testing. So that's another way that you can advertise on Facebook and just use and stretch the creatives to just fit here, right? Remember, We are just duplicating the winning creatives. We're not duplicating the losing creative. That's just losing money, all right? We shouldn't be stupid about this either. So if you're thinking to yourself, Cartier is a very, very established brand. I am not. I'm a small jewelry brand, or I'm a mid-sized jewelry brand, or I don't really have the money to spend on 1,000 Facebook ads, right? That is fine. There are jewelry brands that are very small, that have very small budgets that test for $25 a day, right? So that is fine. $25 a day is fine for testing. And then when you have one that wins from those 25, then you can put money behind that, right? And actually get customers. The only point of advertising on Facebook is to get more customers, to get more sales. After you get more sales, to increase the price. After you increase the price, put more money on Facebook and keep doing that, right? Now, if you are saying, well, I'm not as big as Cartier, I can't do it. Well, this is one of the fastest growing jewelry brands on the planet right now, Clean Origin, and they are running approximately 470 ads at this moment on Facebook. Obviously, they're going to scale this. Now, this is a fast growing jewelry brand, all right? This is an 200-year-old jewelry brand, right? So they have basically the same ads as Cartier, right? They have, or at least the same formats as Cartier, right? They are advertising on all formats. They are advertising on image ads. So these are just pure image ads. Then they have real ads like this. They also have carousel ads somewhere here. There we go. So here they have carousel ads, and they are testing with all of these different formats and actually scaling them. Now, we are small. If we are a mid-sized jewelry brand, a small jewelry brand, and obviously we can't run 470 ads, 1,000 ads, 7,000 ads. We can test with small budgets and then scale the winners and get customers that way, so that money can come in and we can reinvest in ads. Now, if that is a system that you want to implement for your own jewelry brand, then I have made this training. It's called the Goldsmith Streakers training, and it teaches you click by click, or your team click by click, exactly how to make these sort of ad creative systems like Clean Origin, like Cartier, to be able to implement it in your own jewelry brand. So it helps you generate the creatives, test the creatives, run the creatives, scale the creatives, so that you can have more customers for your jewelry brand, increase prices, and grow your jewelry brand that way through customer acquisition, to getting more customers. If that sounds like something that you need for your jewelry brand, then click the link in the description of this video and I'll show you click by click exactly how to do that.